Welcome back to Adria Karting Raceway for this, the second final of the afternoon here in the beautiful sunshine. This is the junior category on the grid. Well, it was freezing yesterday here at Adria, -5 this morning. And that was due to a cold front that blew in from Siberia in northern Russia. And ironically, it is a Russian that will start this final out of pole position. Kirill Small for the Swedish Ward Racing team. He is on the front row of the grid, joined by Gabriel Mini, last year's Supermaster Series champion in the 60cc mini category. He's driving the Paralin Kart that has just dominated the 60cc mini race here this afternoon. There is the track built in 2014 on your screen. Temperature actually a couple of degrees warmer than that here this afternoon. Thankfully, it was blowing a gale. It was terrible yesterday. It was almost snowing. That was the forecast. And I'm still not convinced we didn't get a few flakes of the white stuff falling from the sky at some point yesterday. Fortunately, that front from Russia has blown out towards the Adriatic Sea, and it's a beautiful winter's day here in northern Italy. So Small on pole position. There is the scene here at Adria. There is the Russian. 314, the team run by Joachim Ward out of Sweden, who himself, as a driver, finished 5th in the 1988 World Championships. Outside of the front row of the grid, Gabriel Mini, there is the Italian, last year's champion in the Supermasters series in the mini class. Yes, that is his name. He's been superb all weekend. In fact, for the last 6 months, the last 12 months, won the series last year in mini, but really stepped up in junior also in 2018. Second row of the grid is all British. Taylor Barnard from Cromer in Eastern England. Took the pre-final win a week ago in the Champions Cup. Has been brilliant. Last year was racing in mini in the British Super 1 series. Grid 3 here this afternoon alongside from Pagham in south of England. That is Luca Griggs with his mechanic Martino Grassi, attempting to push him into a podium here this afternoon, driving for the Jordan Lennox racing team. A brilliant pre-final this morning. That is O Menino do Brasil, the boy from Brazil, Gabriel Bortoleto, in the 355 CRG, starts out of position number 5, knocking on the door of a big win is Gabriel. Third row of the grid alongside Zach O'Sullivan. There is the Brit for Ricky Flynn Motorsport, 325 out of grid number 6. His teammate is Paul Aron, the Estonian, who won the Champions Cup here 7 days ago. There is Paul, his older brother Rolf, who was the 2015 Italian F4 champion. The series powered by WSK Promotion. He's actually at the circuit this weekend to see his younger brother race. And he lines up alongside Hugo Sass, the German, in the TB racing team KR chassis. Can the German stage an upset here this afternoon? Don't discount the possibility. Grid number 9 is Little Luca Bosco, driving for the 2-time world champion Alessandro Manetti Motorsport. Luca racing with a broken hand, but this boy who lives in Nice in southern France feels no pain. The 375 TM-powered Tony Kart on the 5th row of the grid alongside Alexei Brijan. Jose Antonio Gutierrez Gomez on the 6th row of the grid alongside Alessandro Balzarotti. There are 3 Brazilians in this field. We just saw Bortoleto. Faria starts out of grid number 14. And Rafael Camara, we'll see in a moment, coming from the 14th row of the grid. This is a 16-lap final. Last year's champion in the junior class in the Supermaster Series was Andrea Rosso. I guess he still is until we crown a champion at Sarno on 8th of April. So this is the grid. You've just seen the first few drivers. Small, mini. The Brits, Barnard and Griggs. Bortoleto, O'Sullivan, Aron and Sass. Then it's Little Luca Bosco and Alexei Brijan. Balzarotti on the 6th row of the grid alongside Gomez Gutierrez. Then it is Adria and David. First race with the Cosmic Racing Department alongside Roberto Faria. Marcel Kuch, Thomas Dijkstra, Lorenzo Resico, Tikhon Kharitonov, Victor Bernier, and another Russian in Dmitry Novozilyov, who almost took pole on Friday night. Loris Kabaru, Miram Pingasov driving for the 2005 World Champion Oliver Oakes. Kayaski, Marcus Aman, Vladislav Lonko, Lagrotteria, Kamara, Dilano Vantov, Josh Tufek, and Dario Vezzaro, who took pole on Friday night. As we look at the final few rows, Gallo Catalyst from Singapore, Conrad Lawson and Evan Malay. Vezzaro was penalised after he finished 4th in the pre-final. He took pole on Friday night. The boy from Cordoba in Argentina, involved in an incident that has taken out and deprived us of a start from Harry Thompson. He is in the field, but he starts out of grid number 30 in the LKE powered 371 Tony Kart. Can the Argentine do something magic in the following 16 laps? Aron warms up the Vega tyres in spectacular fashion. One spot ahead of Bosco. We're ready for the start out of the Bridgestone hairpin. It is Small in 314 and Mini in 346. Something in the surnames, you have to be tiny. The Small driver and the Mini driver, that's the front row of the grid as they come up to the line. We are green for the first round of the Supermaster Series. Taylor Barnard has slotted into 2nd place. Another brilliant start from the Brit. He gets one ahead of Gabriel Mini. The race leader is Kirill Small as they go down through turn number 3 into the hairpin for the first of 16 times. Small looks behind him. Oh, down the inside at the last possible moment goes Taylor Barnard. It was a last-minute decision. It's cost him. And Mini will look to mount a move. Taylor Barnard knows he'll be slow out of that corner. Covers the line. That gives Kirill Small breathing space. They come up into the Bridgestone hairpin. Mini half thought about a move and had to cover the Brazilian Gabriel Bortoleto. This is the order. Small, Barnard, Mini. That is Bortoleto. The 355 CRG. Griggs runs P5. He leads the freight train. That is Aron, O'Sullivan, Sass, Brijan, Bosco, Gomez, Balzarotti, Faria, Dijkstra, Kharitonov, Adria and David, Resico, Marcel Kuch, Bernier, and Dmitry Novozilyov rounds out the 20 as the Brazilian gets up onto the podium. Mini gets him back straight away. They both lose time to the leaders. In doing that, you can see Taylor Barnard from just south of Ipswich in the east or the southeast of England was racing Mini in the British Super 1 Championships last year. And now he's announced himself on the world scene. He's in 2nd in this, the final of the first round of the Supermaster Series. He looks behind him, and courtesy of that dicing between Gabriel, Bortoleto and Mini, he's put a bit of a gap on the Brazilian Bortoleto, who holds down P3. O'Sullivan, Aron has got back past Griggs. Luca falls down to 7th. There he is at the back of that train. Barnard is sizing up the Russian. Kirill Small had a good lead, but Taylor Barnard is so quick. He's super, super quick around this Adria circuit. He's got the Kart Republic chassis, the new team for Dino Chiesa for 2018. He follows in 2nd spot. Mini up the middle of the 10-metre wide Adria circuit. In position 4 is the Italian. Bit of a gap back to Paul Aron, then it's Zach O'Sullivan. Griggs, Alexei Brijan, the Russian, has made a great start also. Here is Bortoleto. Paul Aron, winner of the Champions Cup 7 days ago, almost to the minute, as Mini goes down the inside and takes Gabriel. Paularon in P5. Then is Brijan, who's got up ahead of that freight train in 6th. He's one ahead of Griggs from Pagham in the south coast of England. Griggs for Jordan Lennox, the 2012 World Cup champion. The Vortex-powered Esprit Kart just behind this battle. And if Barnard and Small start dicing, they'll draw everyone else into the fight for the lead as well. Barnard shadows the Russian. Will he make the move or will he wait? Let's see if he gauges the gap back to Gabriel Mini and Gabriel Bortoleto. Ron, though, the Estonian, you just saw he set the fastest lap of the race, and he's coming into view. He's charging. He will catch the leaders in the next lap or two. The Ricky Flynn Motorsport team driver, 3 times world champions. Ricky Flynn with Anna Ahmed, Lando Norris, and Logan Sargent a year later in 2015. And won the Champions Cup with their driver who runs P5 at the moment. Paularon, as I mentioned, older brother Rolf, 2015 Italian F4 champion here at the circuit to watch his brother perform. And he's doing a fine job in P5. This is lap 5 of 16, the junior final, the Wsk Supermaster Series for 2018. It's a brand new season. We are in the sunshine in northern Italy as Barnard from Britain down the inside of the racing Russian. They're side by side. Small tries to go with him. Watch Gabriel Mini. Watch Gabriel Bortoleto. They run 3 and 4 and they're lining up both the Russian and the Brit. Taylor Barnard, who now leads this junior final. He waited 3 laps. Small puts it back up the inside. Mini tries to follow him through. Bortoleto watches on in P4 and Paularon makes it a 5-way fight for the lead. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We go back to the Russian, Alexei Brijan. He's in P6 with Griggs, Bosco, Balzarotti and O'Sullivan. But the fight is for the lead. Mini side by side with Small. Barnard still holds out the lead. This is shaping up to be a Hollywood thriller here this afternoon at Adria in northern Italy. There's Brijan going through, dragging along Griggs, Bosco, Balzarotti, Zach O'Sullivan. Hugo Sass has fallen back outside the top 10. Head of Faria, Adrien, Karitnov, Resico, Novizolyov up to P16. Bortoleto desperate to get up onto the podium, desperate to win. He runs in P5 in the 3.55 CRG. Taylor Barnard, what a story this will be. He pulled off a sensational move to win the pre-final 7 days ago. Coming up to this very corner now when he ran round the outside of 2 karts to win the pre-final. He runs out front in this, the first round, the Supermaster Series for 2018. Down the inside goes Kirill Small. Watch Mini in P3. He's not quite close enough. Bortoleto is watching the 4 karts in front of him, asking himself, how can he possibly get past? Well, he tries the high line. Watch the CRG on the exit. He'll have a tremendous run, but there's nowhere to go. The traffic is like peak hour in Times Square, New York. The Brazilian cannot get past. He runs P5. Aron the Estonian in 4th, almost takes 3rd. Small is now the leader. Barnard, who did the hard yards earlier on, back to 3rd as Mini slides up the inside to lead in the parallel. Small gets him back immediately. Watch Barnard on the exit. He's so good on that very corner. Small, Mini, they touch. Aron slips through. The Estonian almost took the lead side by side with Paularon. Aron from Estonia. There's Barnard back into 3rd. Bortoleto now starts to make his move. The CRG in P4, right on the hammer of the Brit Taylor Barnard. They come onto the straight. Gabriel Mini, what an intelligent kid this young driver is. 0.6 of a second he's pulled out over Kirill Small. We're past half race distance. Bosco now up into P6. He's got the better of that battle and he's not too far behind the leaders. Goes wheel to wheel with O'Sullivan, Brijan Balzerotti, Roberto Faria. Makes it 2 Brazilians in the top 10. So Barnard 3.04, the Brit from just outside Ipswich on the east coast of England. Up into the Bridgestone hairpin, Bortoleto lines him up from Sao Paulo in Brazil. Following in the tradition of a long line of Brazilian racing car drivers, he runs P4 in the 355 CRG. Mini's the leader, it's down to 5/10 of a second. Kirill Small, the racing Russian in P2. Barnard. There is O'Sullivan going through, head of Bosco. Brijan Balzerotti, Adrian Faria. Griggs has fallen back to 12th. Head of Hugo Sass, Resico. There's Marcel Kuch going through. Lomko, Askay, Cabaru, Delano Vantov. Unfortunately, we have lost Dijkstra, Lagdortaria, Gomez Gutierrez, Marcus Amand, Conrad Lawson, the Dane, and Josh Dufek only lasted a single lap as Bortoleto falls back off the podium one more time. Aron goes back through into P4. Now the field's starting to spread out, and Wsk Supermaster in the second Ricky Flynn Motorsport kart is starting to catch the leaders. Gabriel Mini for Team Paralin. There is Aron. There is Bortoleto in P4. 1 step off the podium, P5 I should say, 2 steps off the podium. Leaders have already gone through, Mini, Small, Barnard, and that is Aron just in front of him. Taylor Barnard, who did a superb job of leading the early part of this race, starting to fall back, but Small is catching Mini. He will put a move on the Italian, and that will draw the Brit back into the battle. Across the line they come. Mini looks behind. There is 4 laps to go. This is the first round of the Supermaster Series. Here comes Kirill Small. Mini looks behind him as he goes flat strap down into turn number 2. Gutsy stuff from the young Italian. Bortoleto is losing time now to Paul Aron. His dream of a podium in the first round of the Supermaster Series, it is fading for the Brazilian. He's back to P5, being caught by Wsk O'Sullivan as Small shadows the back of Gabriel Mini in the Paralin. We have already had one Mini domination here this afternoon, or one Paralin domination in the Mini class. I know it's a tongue twister, a play on words. But Gabriel Mini looking to take 2 victories for the Paralin racing team. The problem is though, Kirill Small, the racing Russian for Ward Racing, is right on his tail with 3 laps to go. He has to make a move. Taylor Barnard senses his opportunity if these two make it messy. Down into the turn 5 hairpin. Oh, super late from Gabriel Mini. Up through the right-hander. Small just waiting and watching. Goes wide, can get the run. 2.5 laps now remaining. Good opportunity coming up into the Bridgestone hairpin. He'll get the run. Up the inside goes the racing Russian. Oh, they go side by side. Taylor Barnard in P3 senses his chance to close in on the leaders. Here comes the Brit. Mini, incredibly, somehow holds off the Russian. They do not touch. That is as good as you'll get in the world of international karting from these juniors. The Italian, the Russian, the Brit in P3. The Estonian Paul Aron, Small again tries. They don't touch. Super clean. This is awesome racing here at Adria Raceway. Barnard is catching the leaders. He's on the podium. He may still win this. 1.5 laps now remaining. Mini driving the wheels off that Paralin kart. Can he make it 2 victories for the Paralin team here this afternoon? The first round of the Supermaster Series here at Adria. Barnard just too far back. He needs help, and he needs that help to be in the form of a dice between the Italian and the Russian. The last lap board now for Gabriel Mini. The gap 0.2 of a second. Small will close up as Mini looks behind him. Watch the move into the turn 5 hairpin. He's probably too far back, but the track is 10 meters wide here at Adria. Over the ripple strip. Small had half a think about it, There's another chance coming up at the exit of the right-hander. Barnard getting ever so close. This is the final lap. Nail-biting stuff here at Adria. Small thought about it. He saves his chance. Down the inside. Oh, they go off the track. Watch Barnard. Mini's out of it. Barnard may well win it. He tries the high line. Small there, side by side. The Brit and the Russian just calmly puts him into the runoff. Kirill Small from Russia wins a sensational opening round of the Supermaster Series here at Adria. Barnard second by 0.09 of a second. How good was that? And Gabriel Mini across the line in P3. Have you ever seen racing as good as that in the OK Junior category? Awesome stuff. The racing Russian Kirill Small wins here this afternoon in the sunshine of northern Italy. The Russian for Joachim Ward's racing team with a nail biter. Aron finishes fourth, Bortoletto P5. Then it was O'Sullivan, Bosco, Brijan, Bazzarotti, and the German Hugo Sass rounding out the 10. Small, he's on 87 points now, going into the second round of the series at South Garda Karting in 1 month's time. Absolute goosebumps from that race, just sensational. A huge congratulations to Kirill Small as we look at the highlights from this race. He started from pole, let's remember that. Taylor Barnard, the Brit, finishes in second, almost took the win. He did the hard yards early on, led, diced, they all kept it clean. These juniors, let's give them an immense amount of credit. There is not one Vega tyre mark on any of these karts up front. They did not touch. It was as clean as you'd like. Mini, Barnard, Paul Aron. At one stage, we thought Mini would go away to take the win. They went side by side down into the Magny-Cours chicane. Small and Mini, the Italian, we thought he would hold him off. He drove superbly. He does finish on the podium. Small did what he had to do. Barnard with a superb run on the exit. And Small just too good. Just calmly puts Barnard off the racing line. The checkered flag came out, and Kirill Small, the ruthless racing Russian for Ward Racing, has won a sensational season opener here at Adria Raceway. Barnard second, Gabriel Mini third. We will hear the national anthem of Russia ring out on the podium in a few moments. Paul Aron in P4, and the Brazilian Bortoletto 5, O'Sullivan, Bosco, Brijan, Bazzarotti and Hugo Sass rounded out the 10. The podium for the junior final, a sensational junior final here at Adria in just a few moments. Bad luck for Taylor Barnard. He drove a brilliant race. He almost took the win on the very final corner. And we wait for the Estonian Paul Aron to arrive for the podium presentation here in the sunshine of Adria Karting Raceway. Of course, we will have the final for the OK class directly after this one, and then the KZ2 category. And I can tell you that all four drivers involved in that crash in the pre-final in KZ2 are looking to line up for the final here this afternoon in different repaired karts, or differently prepared karts, I should say. So we're just waiting for the Estonian Paul Aron to arrive up here on the podium, his second podium in 2 weeks. So two drivers from what we used to know as the Soviet Union. The Russian wins, the Italian second, the Estonian third. And we're almost ready for our podium presentation here this afternoon. Paul Aron finishing fourth, does take third here this afternoon. His second podium in a week. So we will now proceed with the podium, a little different to what we saw as they came across the line. In third place for Ricky Flynn Motorsport from Estonia. His second podium in a week, it is Paul Aron. Another sensational drive for last year's Supermaster Series champion in the mini class. In second here in juniors this afternoon from Italy for Team Parolin, it is Gabriel Mini. He drove superbly all weekend for Award Racing, for SMP Racing from Russia. The winner, it is Kirill Small. The third place trophy to Paul Aron of Estonia. Second place, Gabriel Mini of Italy. The winner of the first round of the series from Russia, Kirill Small. As we stand by for the national anthem of Russia. The podium for a sensational junior final. Third place, Paul Aron. Second, Gabriel Mini. And the winner, Kirill Small. Here in the sunshine, we continue racing the OK Direct Drive final in just a moment.